There are few things as enjoyable as a night of knockout football, and with a spot in the DFB-Pokal quarter-finals on the line, Bayer Leverkusen and Stuttgart lock horns tonight at the Bayer Arena. It's a case of 4 down and 4 to go in the DFB-Pokal round of 16. Yesterday's encounters set a high bar with 21 goals scored, an extra-time thriller, and the scalp of one of the title favourites. We can only hope that tonight's narratives match up, and the odds are good that Leverkusen and Stuttgart will throw up some of those twists and turns that make knockout football so enjoyable. There's a fantastic atmosphere brewing at the Bayer Arena as the fans start to filter into their seats ahead of kickoff. A clash between two sides that are synonymous with the Bundesliga era. Bayer Leverkusen currently still in Germany's top flight. Stuttgart trying to get back there this season after getting relegated in the relegation playoff loss to Union Berlin last season. And currently on course to at least make a push for promotion, third in the Zweite Bundesliga as things stand. It's been all changed during the winter break with a new man in charge, Pellegrino Matarazzo, taking charge during the winter break. And tonight, a true test of his abilities against one of Germany's top clubs. Well, the team news is in, and Peter Bosz makes 4 changes to the side that lost 2-1 to Hoffenheim on Saturday. Lars Bender and Jonathan Tah are afforded a rare respite, which sees Alexander Dragovic and Mitchell Weiser slot into Bayer's back line. With Baumgartlinger and Arangis out injured, 21-year-old Argentine Ezequiel Palacios, signed from River Plate during the winter break, makes his debut for Leverkusen. His compatriot Lucas Alario leads the line up front, making his first start of 2020. For the visitors, Pellegrino Matarazzo has also made 4 changes, but had his hand forced with some of his decisions. Stuttgart confirmed that captain Marc-Oliver Kempf lost a tooth and broke his jaw following a collision with Ryo Miyachi in the 1-1 draw with St. Pauli on the weekend. As a result, Wataru Endo moves into the 3-man back line. Elsewhere, Pascal Stenzel, Daniel Didavi, Silas Wamangetuka and Gonzalo Castro up against his former side are the fresh faces in the VfB starting lineup. Well, nothing like a pre-match anthem to really get the spirits raised on a night of cup football. Hello and welcome one and all to the Bayer Arena in Leverkusen. My name is James Surrogate, and tonight we're set to see a match where the form books are thrown out the window, where league standings matter little, and where everything is demanded of those that take to the field. Something tells me we may have quite a game in store between these two German football heavyweights in their own right. As I mentioned, these are two teams who have been synonymous with life in the Bundesliga, but they currently find themselves in the midst of 2 very different storylines. Bayer Leverkusen making a push for a top 4 finish for a 2nd season running under Peter Bosz. His first full campaign in charge is seeing his side slowly start to take shape. Injuries haven't helped the matter, but the Bosz revolution that has taken place at Leverkusen is certainly in full effect. At times he's got his side playing some lovely football. But it was around about this time last season when Leverkusen arguably put in their 3 worst performances under Peter Bosz, all of which came in cup competition, as they suffered disappointing cup exits to Krasnodar in the UEFA Europa League, and at this stage of the DFB-Pokal last season against 2nd-tier Heidenheim. Peter Bosz and his charges will be hoping history doesn't repeat itself, and a convincing performance tonight will go a long way to dispelling any of the doubts that do surround this Bayer Leverkusen side when it comes to not just the vulnerability of their back line at times, but whether or not they really are ready to be a regular top 4 candidate. There was an article in Die Welt in Germany this week essentially saying that their performance against Hoffenheim underlined the fact that they are not ready yet. It will be hard to gauge from tonight, but silverware is certainly a target for Bayer Leverkusen. You have to think that the DFB-Pokal will offer the most realistic avenue to getting their hands on a trophy come the end of the season. On the opposite end of the spectrum, it's worth talking about Stuttgart, as I mentioned, relegated in the previous campaign. Tayfun Korkut, Markus Weinzierl, Nico Willig all tried and failed to turn things around for Stuttgart in a season of real turmoil. They picked up just 1 win on foreign soil in the Bundesliga throughout the entirety of the previous campaign. 20 losses suffered. They've had to try and pick themselves up in the Zweite Bundesliga, but they have done well to retain big names. Currently 3rd in the standings in the 2nd tier of German football, just 3 points off top spot, held by Arminia Bielefeld. But tonight they face a test of the top caliber in German football. A chance for some of the players that are fresh faces compared to the side that were featuring in the Bundesliga last season. For many, it'll be a first taste of taking on a Bundesliga side in Bayer Leverkusen. But certainly a strong core for Stuttgart to work with, and Daniel Didavi, the man on your screen, is one member of that core. One of the changes in the starting lineup tonight for Stuttgart, with Pellegrino Matarazzo looking for a little more experience in his ranks. Gonzalo Castro, Daniel Didavi, both slotting into the starting lineup. So too Pascal Stenzel. All 3 of them boast Bundesliga experience. Stenzel on loan from Freiburg this season. Daniel Didavi has been through the mill when it comes to his Bundesliga experiences. He really has been and done it all, bar maybe getting his hands on the trophy come the end of the season. And there you can see Gonzalo Castro. Peter Bosz worked with Castro during his time at Borussia Dortmund, but it's here in Bayer Leverkusen where Castro still holds claim to being a fan favourite. Made 370 appearances in all competitions for Leverkusen during a spell at the club from 1999. He made his breakthrough with this club, stayed all the way till 2015. His name firmly etched in the Bayer Leverkusen history books, but only Kai Havertz and Levin Öztunali were younger when they made their debut for Bayer 04. Kai Havertz is certainly someone we'll be keeping an eye on tonight, captaining the Leverkusen side. The 20-year-old, wonderful acknowledgement of his standing within this squad from head coach Peter Bosz. But not just his standing, but his importance in terms of what he brings to the table. There is Pellegrino Matarazzo, the man who took over from Tim Walter during the winter break, with Stuttgart in 3rd place. 3 points off the top. They're still in the exact same position 2 games into the second half of the season. Kai Havertz has won the toss. Referee tonight, Bibiana Steinhaus. Bundesliga's first ever female referee after what was a 10-year wait to make her appearance in the top tier. She's called for more female referees to get involved, saying that football is colourful and multifaceted and we should celebrate it as such. Someone that can attest to that is Peter Bosz. He loves to put on a show. Attractive football is what he strives for. And this Leverkusen side and the talent they boast in their ranks are capable of it. Now you have to say the Stuttgart fans in attendance, roughly 2,600 of them, have made the trip, making themselves heard at the Bayer Arena. It is Stuttgart who get us underway in this DFB-Pokal round of 16 tie. A clash of two German football heavyweights in their own regards. Stuttgart going through a bit of a troublesome time after being relegated last season, looking to make an immediate return to life in the Bundesliga. Leverkusen, this is a chance for them to make amends for what was a slip-up last season at this stage of the DFB-Pokal. A round of 16, 2-1 loss to Heidenheim, and a chance here early for Stuttgart. Worked the ball well here, the visitors. The gap opened up through the middle for Roberto Massimo. 19-year-old snatching at the effort somewhat. That is exactly what Matarazzo called for in this game from his side. When talking about how he saw his side potentially walking away with a positive result from this game, he said Leverkusen tend to take risks in defence. We want to pick the right moments to pounce. Very congested in midfield, with Leverkusen looking to quickly settle into their possession-based rhythm. It is something Stuttgart will have prepared themselves for. They will have known that they won't see much of the ball tonight, and it really is then being effective in the moments when they can build from the back, like now with Pascal Stenzel. Lovely ball, looking for the run of Nicolas Gonzalez. Oh, well, that delivery was nothing but a letdown. The offside flag had gone up against the Argentine. Free kick taken quickly by Leverkusen. Just a few touches of the ball for Kai Havertz, captaining this Leverkusen side tonight. This is the third DFB-Pokal meeting between these two sides. You'd have thought, given their historical standing, they may have encountered each other a little more often. But of the previous two encounters by Leverkusen, picked up victories in both without conceding. It's a 1-0 win in the 1991-92 campaign, a 3-0 win in the 2002-2003 season. Stuttgart's record against Leverkusen does not make for pretty reading if you are a VfB fan. One win in their last 16 against Leverkusen in all competitions. That victory, incidentally, coming in the Bayer Arena back in April of 2018, when a certain Christian Gentner got the only goal of the game. Gentner, who such a loyal servant to Stuttgart, leaving in the summer to join Union Berlin, the side that cost Stuttgart their place in the Bundesliga in the relegation playoff last season. Kerem Demirbay penalised for the foul on Philipp Förster. Demirbay, who was sent off for two bookable offences on the weekend in that 2-1 loss to Hoffenheim. Not exactly the type of performance he would have wanted to put in against his former side, the team he left in the summer. Here is Karim Bellarabi. Stuttgart doing well to get bodies behind the ball when Leverkusen are settling into possession. type of discipline that will be demanded of them throughout the entire 90 minutes. By with a delightful pass over the top to Kai Havertz. Here's Alexander Dragovic, who mentioned the fact that Leverkusen will be looking to redeem themselves after getting knocked out in the round of 16 last year. Dragovic will certainly be doing the same. There's Bellarabi. There's a cross into the box that is collected by Fabian Bredlow. Singraven wins the header. Firstner's first to the loose ball, then loses out against the Dutchman. Leverkusen looking to play their way out from the back and playing their way into trouble with Gonzalez. Alert to the idea to play the ball out to Weiser. Stuttgart are certainly picking and choosing their moments when to push a little higher up the pitch, but Didavi flaps his arms in. A bit of frustration there in the lack of support he was getting from the rest of his teammates when it came to applying pressure on Bayer's back line. Can't be an individual act, it's got to be a team-driven effort. There have been plenty of occasions this season, and it's what Matarazzo was alluding to, where Leverkusen's backline have been forced into making some sloppy mistakes, it has to be said. Said that his side have a lot of respect for Stuttgart, but he did say that they're going to have to work hard for a good result. The opening exchanges suggest that his pre-match prediction was spot on. Hilario closest to it for Leverkusen. Chance for Bellarabi to get the ball back in the mix. Looking to create the angle with the cross, well dealt with at the back by Stuttgart, who then win the foul through Daniel Didavi. Daniel Didavi, a player that really will go down with a big what-if next to his career statistics in terms of what he could have achieved had injuries not blighted his career as much as they had. Technically gifted, no doubt about it, Daniel Didavi. Speaking of technically gifted, Diaby trying to make something happen for Leverkusen. Now it's Stuttgart who can break. Leverkusen have thrown numbers forward, and Bellarabi, perhaps smartly with a little tug of the shirt there on Wataru Endo. There wasn't a whole lot in it, but enough to throw the Japanese international off balance, which incidentally is exactly what Gonzalez just lost there. Havertz left the pass short for Weiser. Fortunately for Leverkusen, Gonzalez was still coming back from an offside position. Here's Moussa Diaby drawing the foul. If you haven't seen the goal that he scored against Hoffenheim, it was one of those moments where your draw genuinely hit the floor. A sublime piece of skill. I won't spoil it in case you want to go find it on YouTube now, but I would highly recommend it. It was a moment of ingenuity. It really took your breath away. And a fine finish at the end of it too. Demirbay. Lovely control from Havertz, who goes for the shot after chesting the ball down, and well, he's certainly got that in his locker, Kai Havertz, and he wasn't far away here from opening the scoring. We've seen some fantastic goals so far in the DFB-Pokal round of 16. That would have been up there with them, but Havertz again here with the chance, back to goal. Clips it towards the back post. The man was over in Sven Bender. Vital interception made at the back for Stuttgart. My man Gituka in trouble now, under pressure from two. Ends up putting it out for a throw-in. Here is Sven Bender, a two-time DFB-Pokal winner with Borussia Dortmund in 2012 and 2017. Now with Ezequiel Palacios. So some good early touches so far tonight. The debutant on the ball, combining well with Havertz. If those two can strike up an understanding that comes anywhere close to the understanding that Havertz had with Julian Brandt, now of Borussia Dortmund, then that will certainly serve Leverkusen well. Palacios, though, very comfortable on the ball, the man signed from River Plate. Picked up 4 titles in Argentina, amongst them the Copa Libertadores. But just 21 years of age, Palacios. The way he is talked about in Argentina especially, there is no shortage of potential to be tapped with him. Wasn't able to feature in any of the opening 3 Bundesliga games of the Rückrunde due to a suspension for a red card that he picked up in Argentina. So Leverkusen have had to be patient, but it's given them time to bed him in at the club. Peter Bosz has talked about the fact that he has integrated very well so far. But now getting his first taste of German football tonight, Ezequiel Palacios. Sloppy pass from Diaby. Maman Gituka thought about giving chase. Notice that the pass was overhit though. Now, we had been expecting Stuttgart to line up with a 3-man back line. I think it's fair to say that Pellegrino Matarazzo has tweaked his system somewhat. Roberto Massimo seems to have dropped in at right back. Stenzel's moved over to left back. That leaves us with a 3-man midfield of Mangala, Castro and Förster Gonzalez is out wide on the left wing. Waman Gituka is on the right wing. And it's Daniel Didavi playing through the middle, almost as a lone striker tonight. So Stuttgart doing well to keep Leverkusen guessing in the opening quarter of an hour here at the Bayer Arena. Chances so far have been few and far between. The closest was a splendid but speculative effort from Kai Havertz. A chest and volley that was just past the post. Silas Waman Gituka, signed from Paris FC of the French second tier. Dragovic will be hoping he doesn't have another moment to forget like he had against Heidenheim when he got turned so easily in the box that led to Heidenheim's equaliser in that game. Julian Brandt had put Leverkusen ahead in a dominant first half performance, but Bayer 04, there was a noticeable drop-off after the restart. Heidenheim really took the game to them. And Stuttgart are looking to do the same here. Hint of an offside against Gonzalo Castro. The flag stayed down. Bellarabi does well to recover the situation for Leverkusen. Errant pass allows Leverkusen to break. Diaby's got the pace to beat Nathaniel Phillips. Two aim for in the middle. Kai Havertz is one of them, saved by Breedlove. Back to Bellarabi. And well, his shot was going wide. The chance still alive with Demirbay off target. Well, that is the moment that Peter Bosz's side had been waiting for, a chance to break in transition. Diaby's pace causing all sorts of problems, and Leverkusen really will feel that they should have done better with this chance. Kai Havertz, in particular, if anything, too cool for his own good when shooting from the edge of the 6-yard box. Fabian Breedlove did well to stick out a foot, but a chance that goes unpunished by Leverkusen. That all stemmed from a sloppy pass from Roberto Massimo in midfield. And that is the warning shot that Stuttgart need to heed. Palacios put under pressure quickly by Castro. Havertz does well to ride the challenge now with Bellarabi. Back to Havertz. Bender into feet for Diaby. Pip to the ball though. Now with Waman Gituka. Skips past one, skips past two. Looks to skip past three. Doesn't get the rub of the green there from referee Bibiana Steinhaus. Looked like he'd rather overhit the touch to take it past Bellarabi. But he has stayed down. Does get clipped there by Bellarabi. Drop ball. Havertz was looking to spring into action immediately, but not all his teammates were quite on the same page there. Two were still taking on water on the sidelines. Just over 20 minutes played. It has to be said that this is shaping up into quite a fascinating tactical battle. Stuttgart have definitely come here with a clear game plan to both sit deep and absorb pressure, but also pick their moments to apply pressure further up the pitch. Their utmost priority is staying disciplined at the back. Under pressure now with Bellarabi coming forward. Ilario can't quite get the angle on the header he needed. As we see the chance for Havertz again. You can see what he was trying to do, just open up the boot, find the bottom corner across goal. Nice idea, just didn't quite execute it as we'd expect. Gonzalez, tricky feet there up against Weiser, but it is Weiser who wins out. Bellarabi played into pressure by Palacios. Castro against his former club. Can't quite get the bend on the ball to trouble Hradecki. He never scored a goal in the DFB-Pokal for Leverkusen. Gonzalo Castro, he's got 4 in the competition in 38 previous appearances. Interesting enough, all 4 goals came while he was on the books at Borussia Dortmund. He was part of that DFB-Pokal winning side of 2017 as well. Nice feet from Didavi. Gonzalez has been full of running down the left flank. Unfortunately, that is a delivery. It once again proves a letdown from the Argentine. Needs to work on his end product when it comes to picking out teammates. For now, it's Leverkusen streaming forward. Stenzel does well to stay touch tight there with the pacey Karim Bellarabi. So, talking when he took over in the winter break, said of Stuttgart that he wants to be active in every phase of play and dictate the game. Not an easy thing to do against a Leverkusen side who love to stay in possession, but Stuttgart are having their moments. For now, it's the home side with a corner. Demirbay to take. Congested 6-yard box, and Redlaw struggled to get there. Foul goes his way though. Demirbay with another delightful switch of play to pick out Diaby. Again, looking to use those quick feet to his advantage. Sinkgraven as well, and a tangle off the ball there between Lucas Ilario and Nathaniel Phillips. Man who has returned to Stuttgart on loan from Liverpool. He spent the first half of the season with the club. Loan deal was only 6 months long, but it's been extended now for the second half of the season. Given the fact that Stuttgart are going through a bit of a defensive crisis, given a lengthy injury list that includes Mark-Oliver Kempf, who, as I said, lost a tooth and broke his jaw in a nasty collision with Rio Miyachi of St. Pauli in the 1-1 draw on the weekend. Holger Badstuber still out with an adductor injury, working on his comeback. Meanwhile, Marcin Kaminski is still recovering from a knee injury. For now, though, this is a chance for Waman Gituka. Stuttgart have numbers to their advantage. Oh, it's off the woodwork. Well, he went to the lone Silas Waman Gituka, and he wasn't far away from causing a real upset. Havertz lost out in midfield. Sinkgraven missed out on the 50-50. Dragovic was trying to play both angles. And it left the shot open for Waman Gituka. He accepted the invitation. And you know what? Wasn't far off either. Gets a round of applause from Mario Gomez. Bellarabi, Leverkusen looking for an immediate response to having the frame of their goal rattled. Shouts for a handball. Play goes on for time being. Here is Demirbay. Bellarabi now working on the opposite flank. Him and Diaby have switched sides for the time being. Palacios finding his compatriot Ilario, trying to shape a bit of space. It's Leverkusen looking to press high up the pitch and immediately win the ball back, trying to force a mistake out of Stuttgart, but they haven't succeeded, and it's the visitors now breaking with Philipp Förster. Again, he's short of options, goes for goal himself. It should be a corner. It took a touch off Sven Bender. And a goal kick given by Bibiana Steinhaus. Admittedly, the protests from Förster were quite tame as well. I talked earlier after Leverkusen had a couple of chances in quick succession with Kai Havertz and Kerem Demirbay, that was a warning that Stuttgart needed to heed. I feel like Leverkusen need to heed a warning of their own now. Twice in quick succession, the visitors have broken the lines that Bayer have put down. Waman Gituka hitting the crossbar, and now Förster dragging an effort wide. This game starting to open up as we approach the half-hour mark. Corner fails to beat the man on the near post, Gonzalo Castro. Leverkusen's pace is certainly causing Stuttgart's backline problems, whether it's Bellarabi or Diaby putting their head down and running at their man. However, it also has to be said that Stuttgart are doing very well to keep space in behind their backline at a minimum. Oh, that's a tactical foul if ever I've seen one from Mitchell Weiser. Went for the shirts, went for the shorts. And rightly picks up a yellow card for the foul on Nicolas Gonzalez. Weiser had committed. He'd gotten wrong side of his man. Logical consequence of such a blatant foul is he's going to pick up a booking. And now Stuttgart with a chance from the free kick. Didavi wanted to take it quickly. Castro was in space. He's found Stenzel instead. The angle changed now with Castro. Clipped in towards Didavi. Lovely combination play. And Hradecky had to stay large. Hard to tell whether there was an offside in the build-up. Oh, I don't think there was. Sven Bender had dropped deep. What a chance that was for Daniel Didavi. Did everything right there, Didavi. Kept his composure. Problem is, so too did Lukas Hradecky. Bellarabi now cutting inside. Lovely reverse pass for Havertz. He's got two up in support, Alario and Diaby, but he can't quite carve out the cross. It is great to see Kai Havertz returning to his influential best with Leverkusen. First half of the season wasn't quite up to par with what we saw from him in the previous campaign. He's come on strong in the Rückrunde, and there he is with the header. Glancing one that goes across the face of goal. There were no takers to provide the final and vital touch. Diaby sends his cross long, and the danger dissipates. Lovely, courageous play from Stuttgart and Gonzalez. Didavi with a chance to pick out a man now. Play to the edge of the area for Gonzalo Castro. Well, Leverkusen were worried, and they had every right to be. Gonzalo Castro more than capable of finding a target from that type of range. Leverkusen all too familiar with that, given the amount of time he spent on the books at the club. Wasn't the cleanest strike from him. Bender gets the block, and Stuttgart settle for the corner. Defending set pieces is certainly a strength of Leverkusen's. One off the training ground from Didavi and Castro. In the end, though, from Castro, it's a swing and a miss. Havertz looking to pull the strings, finding Bellarabi. Stayed out on that left wing for the time being. Lovely play from Palacios and Havertz. Cross deflected though as he looked to pick out Alario. Leverkusen do have to be careful because Alario is becoming rather isolated in the middle. He's very proficient in the air. Crosses into the box. So far, at least, playing into Stuttgart's hands. Mangala. Massimo. Back with Mangala now. Forced to play it all the way back to Bredlo. Sinkgraven caught out on the turn there. Just lost his footing at the vital moment. Roman Gituka battling away. Unsuccessfully in the end. Under 10 minutes remaining in this first half, and a good time for the Leverkusen fans to get themselves on their feet with a chant of stand up for Leverkusen. Goalless so far here, but it is worth noting that Leverkusen have scored in each of their last 16 DFB-Pokal fixtures, netting 43 goals in total at an average of 2.7 goals per game. Really an incredible goal-scoring run. Here is Havertz looking to make something happen before half-time. In the end, though, ran into a throng of bodies and was unable to get a shot off. Coming into the game, you would have thought that Leverkusen's impressive goal-scoring run in this competition, and the likelihood of that continuing, would be high against a side like Stuttgart, especially when you consider that Leverkusen have scored in all but one of their last 21 competitive matches against Stuttgart, as a thumping challenge is put in there. Starting to get a little physical between these two German footballing heavyweights. Sinkraven still feeling the effects of that coming together. Signed in the summer from Ajax, a man who has previously worked under Peter Bos at the Dutch club. Looks now at the start of this second half of the season that he may well have wrestled first choice status away from Vendel when it comes to the left back role with Leverkusen. Here is Bellarabi. Palacios looking for Havertz. There wasn't enough in it for me to warrant a foul in the coming together between Stenzel and Havertz. But Stuttgart will happily accept the reprieve. When we talk about reprieve, there's barely been any for the Stuttgart fans in attendance. 2,600 fans that have made the trip north, roughly 400 kilometers in the journey from Stuttgart to Leverkusen. Davi, I have to say, is providing a fantastic focal point for Stuttgart to work around. Unfortunately, the good work there undone by a sloppy pass from Philipp Thursner as he looked to pick out Gonzalo Castro. Palacios now short of options, fancies a run, looking for the run of Diaby. Lovely control to take it past Bredlow, but he is denied by the offside flag. The whistle went early, and that was a very easy decision for the assistant referee on this near side, Marcel Unger. See the technical ability that Moussa Diaby does bring to the table. Leverkusen come away with the ball in midfield. Tiny challenge there from Mangala. Havertz looking to play off the shoulder of the last man, dropping deep now, finding Bellarabi. First touch just took the sting out of the opportunity that was emerging. Bellarabi, though, looks to put the sting back in it. Snapshot off target, though. Just under 5 minutes of normal time to go at the end of this first half, in case you're just joining us from wherever you are or in the world. Firstly, welcome. Secondly, no goals to speak of so far. A smattering of chances at either end. Kai Havertz has struck just wide of the target with a chest and volley. Meanwhile, Stuttgart have hit the woodwork. Unfortunately, that chance comes to nothing as Stenzel's delivery is neither cross nor shot. Comfortably handled by Hradecki. And now space for Leverkusen to work with. They haven't had a lot of that in this first half. And Palacios immediately looks to play it in for the run of his fellow Argentine, Lucas Alario. Not quite on the same page there. The two compatriots. Sinkgraven first to the loose ball after Stuttgart failed to clear their lines. Leverkusen trying to crank up the pressure right on the stroke of half-time. That's a lovely ball to Alario, and it's Havertz who turns it home. The appeals for the offside are immediate. The looks of concern on the faces of the Leverkusen players says it all. And that's tight, you know, as to whether Havertz was maybe just ahead of the ball. No one wants to celebrate too much, just in case. Video assist tonight is Tobias Stieler, man who made a bit of a name for himself on the weekend after sending off Alassane Playa. And there we see confirmation that the goal does not stand. It was offside against Kai Havertz. I have to say it looked like a very close call. But I do believe the correct decision has been made, and it's a let-off for Stuttgart right on the stroke of half-time. Leverkusen were looking to draw first blood. Kai Havertz, I think at half-time, will maybe lament his over-eagerness to get forward there. Had he just held his run and been a little more patient, we could well have been talking about a Leverkusen lead at half-time, which would have mirrored what happened last season in the round of 16 against Heidenheim. Leverkusen boasting a one-goal lead at the break before conceding twice during a second-half drop-off that was alarming, to say the least. Went on to lose that game 2-1. 1 minute of time added on at the end of the first half. That Heidenheim game also highlighting a bit of a worrying trend for Leverkusen. As we have a look at this again, it's the toe of Havertz against the knee of Phillips, and the toe was too far advanced. Stuttgart, though, combining well here. Didavi looking for the early cross. Deflection from Demirbay took the pace off the ball. I have to say, I've been impressed with how courageous Stuttgart have been, not just in their defensive approach, which has been disciplined from start to finish, but in their willingness to try and probe for weakness in this Leverkusen backline, especially in transition. For now, though, there goes the half-time whistle at the Bayer Arena. It is goalless at the break. Peter Bosz's side thought they had taken the lead through Kai Havertz on the stroke of half-time. The goal correctly ruled out for offside. It was Havertz who had a chest and volley that whistled just past the woodwork earlier in the first half. Meanwhile, at the other end, Stuttgart hitting the frame of the goal through Silas Wamangituka. There are goals left in this game at the end of a fascinating first half, though. These teams remain deadlocked. Join us again in 15 minutes' time for the second half action from the Bayer Arena. There is a spot in the DFB-Pokal quarter-finals on the line. And if we need it, extra time and penalties are on offer too.
Musik dazu. Ne? Schön. So, und wir schauen die Termine um die Bayern-Arena. Den Anschluss an unsere hoffentlich erfolgreiche Partie gegen Stuttgart. Das startet für unsere Bayern-Sportler das Topspiel. Heute ab 20:30 Uhr spielen Leverkusen und Veto gegen Werder Bremen. Das heißt, der dritte gegen den zweiten. Ein ganz wichtiger Spieltag also für unser schwarz-rotes Team, den ihr Livestream verfolgen könnt. Einfach mal reinklicken unter twitch.tv/e-sports und unseres E-Sportland. Die Daumen drücken.
Morgen, Donnerstag, der 6. Februar, da freuen wir uns vom Rhein auf Ihre Unterstützung in Bayern Giants in der Basketball-Bundesliga Pro A auf Königshaag ankündigt. Der Ostermann Arena ist um 19:30 Uhr.
Ja, 3 Tage später, Sonntag, den 9. Februar, da wird dann gechippt und gebattert in der Ostermann Arena. Unsere Bayern Ossis treffen in der zweiten Bundesliga Nord auf Köln an für 15 Uhr.
Vergangene Woche, da sind unsere Bayern raus aus dem Trainingslager zurückgekehrt. Und jetzt freuen wir uns auf das Pflichtspiel des Jahres. Sonntag, 16. Februar, ist soweit. Die Frauen des FC Bayern München sind zu Gast im Bundeshaberlandstadion Landkirchen um 14 Uhr.
So, jetzt kommen wir wieder zum Sitz. Es heißt nämlich Karneval bei Bayern. Auch dieses Jahr wird unser Schwarzbus wieder auf den Leverkusener Karnevalszügen dabei sein. Und alle Mitglieder und Silberhosen sind herzlich eingeladen am Samstag beim Umzug in Schwedisch oder am Rosenmontag beim Karnevalszug in Abladen dabei zu sein. Im Kapelle-Schlüssel und natürlich Sitzjörg zu verteilen. Anmeldung und weitere Infos unter bayern4.de.
Heute wird auf jeden Fall ein Gewinner geben, in dem DFB-Pokal Achtelfinale des nächsten Gewinner in der Halbzeit und den Schützung auf der Clublotterie, eine typische Gewinnerin, ein typischer Gewinner. Dürfen wir Sie ganz beglückwünschen zu einer Umhängetasche Kassens. Also, da ist wirklich was geboten. Heute in der Clublotterie, da schauen wir mal die nächste Mitgliedernummer heute und Gewinnerin. Da sehen wir die 3708. Auf diese Bayern man kann nicht zuordnen und ich darf gratulieren. Simone Stefan. Herzlichen Glückwunsch, Simone. Und Simone sitzt im Block C1. Im Block C1. Und auf der Brasilien-Gruppe. Reihe 32, das 14. Simone, herzlichen Glückwunsch. Einmal kurz. Komm, sag mal, hör das mal so, Simone, komm. Da stehen die Herren noch vor
Wir, ein Team, auf dem Feld, in der Hand, auf der Straße. Wir springen, wir fliegen, im Staub, im Dreck. Wir schwitzen, am Tag, bei Nacht. Wir leiden, wir jubeln, wir kämpfen und gewinnen. Zusammen. We are a team. So gut können wir spielen. Mit bestem Big-Burger Siegelhoffen verfeinert. Und deshalb bitte mit.
Damit kommen wir zu unserer letzten Aktion vor dem Spiel gegen Borussia Dortmund in Italien, also für Samstag,
Aktion teilnehmen. Und zwar ist von der 5 € dabei zu
Ja, einfach 5 € Umschlag, Name und Kontaktkarte dazu schreiben und in die Lostrommel direkt an der Festliste einwerfen. Die Gewinner findet dann um 18:10 Uhr an der Festliste statt. Und ob das Ticket dann mitgenommen werden kann, dann das gerne dann alles, aber
Das wird sogar das hast du jetzt erfahren. Habt ihr Wege und zwar noch schon mal gesagt, das kann direkt mitbekommen werden. Der glückliche Sieg. Genau, so machen wir es. Also
Hello and welcome back one and all to the Bayern in Leverkusen, which tonight is playing host to a finely poised cup fixture between Leverkusen and Stuttgart. As you can see there, Leverkusen have made a change at half-time. Jonathan Tah on for Sven Bender. A like-for-like change as the home side get us underway. No word yet as to whether Sven Bender picked up a knock in the first half or whether Peter Bosz has simply seen something that speaks to the qualities that Jonathan Tah does bring to the table. Perhaps in his ability to play the ball out from the back and get involved in the build-up play. Has come under fire a fair bit this season, Jonathan Tah. Pundits and experts alike suggesting that his form has dropped off for both club and country, and there certainly have been a few uncharacteristic mistakes that have been drawn out of him. Jonathan Tah is arguably one of the reasons that many opponents look at Leverkusen's backline as being their biggest vulnerability if they can be put under pressure. Tah has incredible athletic ability. Composure isn't one of his strong suits, though. We had no goals in the first half. I mentioned the fact that yesterday's 4 games set quite a high bar when it came to the excitement levels. Right now, perhaps a fear that they stole all the goals as well. But it is worth noting that should this game end goalless after 90 minutes, we will go into extra time. No replays in the DFB-Pokal. Bellarabi thought he had been fouled. Instead, now the break is on for Nicolas Gonzalez. Tah trying to stretch his legs. Gonzalez is through, though! And that is a vital save at a vital time from Lukas Hradecky. But Palacios has given the ball straight away to Didavi. Stuttgart putting themselves on the front foot early after the invitation came from Leverkusen. Phillips has done well to win the ball. In an advanced position, Castro, lovely first touch. Second and third, not quite up to scratch. Take a look here again as to whether Bellarabi had a case for it. It's one of those 50-50s. You've seen them given one way, you've seen them given another. Can't really argue with either decision. Mentioned in the first half that Leverkusen were knocked out of the DFB-Pokal at this stage last season by Heidenheim. A Zweite Bundesliga opponent. They haven't had the best of times against teams from the second tier, and in fact have actually lost 4 of their last 7 DFB-Pokal matches against Zweite Bundesliga outfits. They have reached at least the quarterfinals in 4 of the last 6 seasons, Leverkusen. Now, of course, there's contact there on Bellarabi. The question is whether he was really in control of possession when the challenge was made. And Gonzalez really will rue not making more of that opportunity. A clear-cut chance for Stuttgart early in the second half. Head coach Pellegrino Matarazzo talked about the fact that his side need to pick the right moments to pounce on this Leverkusen team. And you have to say, in the first half, they found their moments well. In the second half, they've had an early chance. Failed to punish Leverkusen. But the visiting side have come here with the intent to make a game of this, and they're doing well to do so. No noticeable gulf in class between two sides in the first and second tier of German football. Materazzi really has got this VfB side well drilled. And they're acquitting themselves admirably well here against Leverkusen. Palacios quickly closed down by two, played into pressure by Alario. Ezequiel Palacios, the 21-year-old Argentine, making his Bayer Leverkusen debut tonight. Late run being made by Weiser in behind. He had Bellarabi in acres of space for the cutback. Instead, the end product leaves wanting there for Leverkusen. He had so much time to pick a pass there, Weiser. The groans from the home fans in attendance were audible. There's Silas Wamangituka, who struck the bar in the first half with arguably Stuttgart's best chance up until that Nicolas Gonzalez one-on-one at the start of the second half. Stuttgart right now taking the challenge that Leverkusen are setting head on. First trying to play in Castro. Now Leverkusen can break with Bellarabi and Weiser. He's kept his run going. Bellarabi instead though looking for Alario. Cuts inside, but it's one touch too many. Although he gets the chance again! But the offside flag is up. For the second time tonight, Leverkusen have a goal chalked off for offside. And it was in the build-up as he looked to bend his run beyond the last man. Had he not been offside, it would have counted, as it was a defensive mix-up there. Between Wataru, Endo and Massimo. It was Kai Havertz in the first half. It's Lucas Alario in the second. 2 goals disallowed for Leverkusen. But it has to be said, on both occasions, the correct decision made. Heavy touch from Didavi, just overruns the ball. Ball clearance from Bredlo. combination play from Leverkusen. You look at their style of play under Peter Bosz. Really is all about press, play and punish. Right now they're playing their way, looking for a punishment. Nice ball into feet there from Palacios. His passing game has certainly been very complimentary to Leverkusen's approach against this deep-lying Stuttgart side. Demirbay just had a long discussion with Lucas Alario shaping up to take this free kick. Perhaps a message that I'm going to be trying to get this on target, be ready to poach on the rebound. That is something that Alario truly does thrive at, but so does Demirbay from set pieces. Fortunately, he doesn't beat the wall. Bellarabi with the ball back in the mix. And that time it was Alario who heads just wide. Just ghosted in between the two Stuttgart centre-backs of Endo and Phillips. Normally so proficient in the air, he will be annoyed at himself for not at the very least finding the target there. First up. Have much to work with there. Didavi wants it on the far side. Now it stays with Förster. Stuttgart not rushing themselves, trying to play their way through. Unfortunately, Mangala's pass cut out by Palacios. Bayer Leverkusen made a change at half-time with Jonathan Tah coming on. Now we see Stuttgart make a change of their own as Roberto Massimo is replaced by Clinton Mola, signed from Chelsea on loan in the January transfer window. Making his first appearance for Stuttgart tonight, the 18-year-old. Quite an intimidating atmosphere to come on as a debutant at 18 years old. Place in the DFB-Pokal quarter-finals on the line for these two sides. Stuttgart have had a little bit of a block when it comes to reaching the quarter-finals in Germany's Seoul Cup competition. Alario trying to work something here for Leverkusen. But it's again Stuttgart who come away with it, and again they've got space to work with now. Gonzalez, who's been full of running all night. And another disappointing passage of play from the Argentine. He's had some really promising moments that have just failed to deliver. That breakaway was case in point. Singgraven up against Wamangituka. And Wamangituka almost won out there. As once again, Stuttgart's pace causing Leverkusen's backline problems. So too their pressing as Castro went for the audacious effort, spotting Kradecki off his line. He's definitely got that in his locker, Gonzalo Castro. As we go back to the earlier offside decision that saw Lucas Alario following Kai Havertz's footsteps in having a goal ruled off for offside tonight against Stuttgart. Here is Diaby, who's got in behind Stenzel. Phillips covers well, though. The Liverpool loanee. Just over an hour played here at the Bayer Arena. It's just joining us. It's still goalless between Leverkusen and Stuttgart. I have to say, for me, the biggest takeaway in this opening hour is just how improved Stuttgart are compared to what we saw from them last season in the Bundesliga. I would maybe go as far to say as that this performance tonight is certainly been more convincing than the majority of their performances in Germany's top tier last season, as they ended the campaign in 16th place before losing out to Union Berlin on away goals in the two-legged relegation playoff. It is the bookend of every Bundesliga season. There's been more discipline, there's been more composure, there's been more courage shown by Stuttgart tonight than many would have anticipated. Well, Bibiana Steinhaus there getting involved in the action. It looked like Leverkusen were going to come away with the ball there. Pulled the play back. You can see there Nicolas Gonzalez has gone down after getting caught on the top of the foot by Alario. Bellarabi does well to keep the ball in play one-on-one with Alario to pick out. He had Clinton Mola backpedaling there. Alario, again, sharpest when it comes to chance creation. Draws another save out of Fabian Bredlow. It's Leverkusen now with the corner. Demirbay to take. That dropped right on the money in the 6-yard box, but there were no takers. Alario poking the ball through to Bellarabi. Numbers forward here for Leverkusen. Palacios going to keep the chance alive, combining with Diaby. I have to say, if you were watching tonight's game and you hadn't seen any of Leverkusen's season before now, you really wouldn't think Palacios was a debutant the way he's played. Peter Bosz was talking about the fact that he had integrated well, and it does seem like the transition has been seamless. Perhaps those 3 weeks where he was unable to play due to a ban he picked up in Argentina have done him well. If anything, it's forced Leverkusen to be patient with him. But this was certainly a good opportunity with Baumgartlinger and Charles Arangis out injured. A chance for him to get a few minutes in midfield and show exactly what he can do. Weiser clipping it in. Havertz is there! And again, there's a doubt about it. Again, the celebrations are mooted, and again, the offside flag is up. This is becoming the tail of the tape for Leverkusen. Third time tonight now, they've had a goal chalked off for offside. It's the second time tonight for Kai Havertz, but if anything, he knew it before it even struck the ball. And there we see Peter Bosz talking to Nadim Amiri, suggesting that that will be Leverkusen's second change of the game. He's going to chance his arm. Still waiting on his first goal for Leverkusen since joining from Hoffenheim in the summer. He's certainly a midfielder that is technically gifted enough to score from those types of positions. Clinton Muller doing well to alleviate the pressure. The Stuttgart play their way out from the back. Ball over the top, looking for the run of Gonzalez. And there we see confirmation of the change. It is going to be Kerem Demirbay who makes way for Nadim Amiri. The two former Hoffenheim players, and it's both number 10s that are making way tonight. Daniel Didavi coming off to be replaced by Klimovic. Oh, excuse me, it's not Kerem Demirbay coming off for Bayer Leverkusen, but Moussa Diaby. So a like-for-like change. For both sides. The way this game has played out, you've got to think that it'll be difficult for substitutes to acclimatise to the rhythm that has been set in the opening 67 minutes here at the Bayer Arena. Amiri is well there to ride the challenge from Castro. It's Leverkusen looking to play their way out from the back, and it's a rugby tackle from Pascal Stenzel, but advantage played by Bibiana Steinhaus. Weiser thought about going on the overlap. Havertz goes it alone. Amiri on the turn. Just look how many white shirts Leverkusen have to get past if they want to get the all-important opener. They are having to be very patient right now. Here is Klimovic, the fresh legs off the bench for Stuttgart. He's done well there to hold up the play and bring others into the mix. Danger snuffed out for the time being, but this offers Stuttgart a chance just to push themselves a little further up the pitch and try and put some pressure of their own on this Leverkusen backline. Lovely turn in midfield by Mangala. Tangle of the legs there, and the foul is given in favour of Silas Wamangituka, who I believe for all intensive purposes is referred to just as Silas by most of his teammates. A little more straightforward than his last name of Wamangituka. It's his first season with Stuttgart. He's already got 5 goals to his name. No real danger there for Leverkusen to deal with from Castro's free kick. But the home side now looking to break themselves. Amiri taking on Mola for pace and beating him as well, but Mola recovers really well there, the young Englishman. Read the challenge well. Leverkusen have another corner with just under 20 minutes of normal time remaining. A reminder, we will go to extra time and penalties tonight if needs be. Dragovic is underneath it. It's an unconvincing punch by Fabian Bredlow, and it's gonna go down as an own goal. Leverkusen have the breakthrough they've been pushing for, but what a horrid moment for Stuttgart. Bredlow comes off his line. There are bodies in the box, but can you really say that Alario or Dragovic were impeding his progress there? I'm not convinced myself. If anything, I genuinely think this is a very unconvincing clearance from Bredlow. Goes at it with one hand. And arguably one of the more bizarre own goals you'll see in a season. But so harsh on Stuttgart, who have really worked their socks off to match Leverkusen's output tonight. They had a clear game plan, and they've executed it well. They've remained disciplined at the back. They've tried to pounce on moments going forward, and all their hard work has just been undone in the blink of an eye by goalkeeper Fabian Bredlow. And now, with a quarter-final place in the DFB-Pokal up for grabs, the onus is on Stuttgart to really push forward and look for the equaliser. And it goes without saying that could well play into the hands of Bayer Leverkusen and their talented and technically gifted, not to mention pacey front line. All they need is a bit of space to work their magic at times. Philipp has to dig deep there, quite literally, to get the header out for Stuttgart. Who may well now struggle to alleviate the pressure that's going to be built up by Leverkusen. The hosts now can be even more pragmatic in their approach when it comes to retaining the ball. Alario with the header. Just hasn't been his night. The Argentine, his chances have been half chances. His headers have often been wayward. He's had to battle for every scrap and inch, and he, like Havertz, has had a goal correctly chalked off for offside tonight. But being the competitive player he is, Lucas Alario would have been looking to make his mark tonight. He wants more first team minutes. For now, it's well worked by Amiri to Palacios. He thought about the first time shot, but didn't seem to have the confidence to go for goal. But They've worked it really well here, Leverkusen. Palacios has got some lovely little touches. So too does Havertz and Amiri, now with Sinkgraven. First touch let him down there, Daily Sinkgraven. But look how quickly Leverkusen wrestle possession back from Stuttgart. This is where Stuttgart need to have a little bit of composure. When they win possession, they don't need to panic and move it forward too quickly. But 1-0 down, they will be looking to throw things forward. Bellarabi can't pick out Alario. Mangala comes away with it, and they are moving it well with this direct approach now, Stuttgart. And Gonzalez again, closed down by Weiser. Chance for Stuttgart to get more bodies forward in support, including that of Pascal Stenzel. He's let himself down there, stepping on the ball, losing his footing. Can see now Leverkusen with that goal advantage, thanks to Fabian Bredel's own goal. They really can just take their time. No need to rush their passes forward. It's a side that have an average possession of over 60% a game. Only Bayern boast better in the Bundesliga in the current campaign. Stuttgart aren't trying to break away from their game plan too much. They don't want to risk conceding a second. But at some point, they're going to have to throw caution to the wind. They have created chances against Leverkusen tonight. Silas Wamangituka hit the bar with an early snapshot. Philipp Förster saw a good chance go wide of the target. Nicolas Gonzalez right at the start of the second half had arguably Stuttgart's best chance of this entire game. But he couldn't beat Radetzky from a close angle one-on-one after beating Jonathan Tah for pace. Gonzalez looking for the one-touch layoff. Alario penalised for the handball. Well, Philipp Förster, who celebrated his birthday yesterday, the 25-year-old replaced by the number 25 for Stuttgart, Egloff. Gonzalez still willing to give chase on long balls forward. It's certainly not the approach that has paid off for Stuttgart tonight. It really has been the quick one-touch combinations through midfield that have posed the greatest threat to Leverkusen. But the visitors really haven't done enough to exploit the pace of Gonzalez, Silas Wamangituka, or the likes of someone like Klimovic, who has come on in this second half. Well won by Eglov. Just 17 years of age, Lilian Eglov. Much like Clinton Mola, thrown in at the deep end in this cup tie against Bayer Leverkusen. But what a moment for the Stuttgart academy player to prove himself. Zingraven to Dragovic. Now with Tar. Levetsky allowed and able to take his time. Endo doesn't come away with the ball cleanly for Stuttgart. Now Havertz takes over from Palacios. Bellarabi in space. One-on-one with Stenzel, looking to get on his favourite right foot. Bradlow palms it clear, but Alario has turned home the rebound. And it's 2-0 to Bayer Leverkusen. And this time for Lucas Alario, it will count. In the end, it is proving to be a night to forget for Fabian Bredlow, the Stuttgart keeper. An excellent performance from the visitors has been undone by two moments of complacency from the keeper. He did well to save Bellarabi's shot, but he doesn't push it clear of danger. And in the end, instincts take over for Lucas Alario. And when it comes to goal-scoring instincts, his are unquestionable. Havertz has the presence of mind not to get involved, as he would have been in an offside position. He's just put his foot on the ball, Alario. A cheeky smile. His best chance is ruled out for offside, but that one counts. His 8th goal of the season in all competitions. He scored the winner in the second round against Paderborn of the DFB-Pokal. He's got Leverkusen's second here tonight, and a late twist in the tail for Stuttgart now looks very unlikely. And you can see the Leverkusen fans thoroughly enjoying themselves now. Interestingly, Bayern 04 have been eliminated from the DFB-Pokal on home soil in 4 of the last 6 seasons. That's a great ball in, and Stuttgart have got a goal back. Well, where's that been all game? A brilliant delivery. And Silas Wamangituka, who struck the frame of the goal in the first half, has potentially just given Stuttgart a lifeline in the second. Zingraven is caught flat-footed. Wamangituka beats him to the ball, and I have to say, I've lamented Nicolas Gonzalez's end product all night. Finally, in the 85th minute, He finally puts a cross on a plate for a teammate. His best delivery of the entire game, no question about it. We see Vendel brought on for Daily Zinkgraven. Not the way he'll have wanted his night to end. Zinkgraven there getting beaten at the back post. But Peter Boss, being the perfectionist he is, will certainly have not enjoyed that defensive display from his left back. Here is the goal scorer. Oh, it's a good effort as well from Klimovic. Hasn't had much to work with since he's come off the bench. The space certainly opened up for him there. Confirmation there that Prodecki picked up a yellow card. And the post-goal melee. Confirmation that Silas Waman-Gituka gets his first ever goal in the DFB-Pokal. Scored 5 goals in 8 games leading up into the winter break. Now he opens his account in 2020. The assistant referees in Leverkusen have certainly been kept busy tonight by the likes of Havertz and Alario, constantly looking to get beyond the last man. Leverkusen with a big game coming up on the weekend as well, on Saturday evening. They will welcome Borussia Dortmund to the Bayer Arena. So a clash between 3rd and 5th in Germany's top flight. They then travel to Union Berlin before the first leg of their Europa League round of 32 tie against Porto. We welcome the Portuguese side to the Bayer Arena first before travelling to Portugal a couple of weeks later after a home tie against Augsburg in the Bundesliga. Porto, who finished top of Group G in the Europa League ahead of Rangers. Esteemed opposition for Leverkusen, who themselves dropped out of the Champions League after a disappointing campaign. They started with 3 losses, including against Lokomotiv Moscow on home soil. They managed to fashion themselves a fighting chance going into their final group game, which was against Juventus, but that was promptly snuffed out by a certain Cristiano Ronaldo. So this season they will have to settle for 2 extra games on their fixture list. Weiser, they're snapping at his heels. Castro catching the right back late after Gonzalez had tried to win the ball too. That hasn't been necessarily a happy homecoming for Gonzalo Castro in Leverkusen. have to think Stuttgart will take plenty of positives out of this performance. They really did make Leverkusen work hard for the victory tonight. And it's a big what if, but you do have to ask, what if Fabian Bredlow hadn't punched the ball into his own net? It was the turning point in the game and just allowed Leverkusen to take an even calmer approach to the game, knowing that space would open up at some point, potentially for a second, and that's exactly what happened when Bellarabi's shot was palm clear by Bredlow, only to the feet of Alario, who turned the ball back towards goal and happened to find the top corner. In doing so, we've got 3 minutes of time added on at the end of the 91 minute has already passed. Problem is, Stuttgart need the ball if they want to snatch a late equaliser. Havertz goes down a little too easily for Bibiana Steinhaus's liking. And this is the chance for Stuttgart to break now. The cross is good towards Gonzalez. It's not back to Klimovic. Oh my word, that was the chance. Klimovic's name was almost up in lights there. Wonderfully played by Elgoff. Gonzalez had the presence of mind not to go for goal himself. And Klimovic on the stretch just can't keep the control on the shot that it needed. Who would have thought that after Bredlow's own goal and after going 2 goals down, that Stuttgart would even be able to fashion themselves a sniff in this game? You look at the stat sheet and Leverkusen have certainly been the dominant side in this game. This fixture has been anything but clear-cut. This has been a true knockout tie. Top tier against second tier. The second tier dug deep. They made life difficult for the Bundesliga side, and they still haven't given up hope of potentially snatching a second. They need to get the ball in the box, though. Here is Mangala. Now Phillips. It's a poor pass. And that will be that. It is Leverkusen who advance to the quarterfinals of the DFB-Pokal. Thanks to a 2-1 win on home soil. All the goals coming in the second half. Disappointment for Pellegrino Matarazzo and his side. They came out with a great game plan that made life difficult for Leverkusen. But in the end, a clinical touch and a smattering of quality made the difference for Leverkusen in the second half against a resilient Stuttgart side. Peter Bosz will be pleased with what he saw from his team, who maintained control throughout the 90 minutes. This was a real test of willpower and character for both Stuttgart and Leverkusen, and I think it's fair to say that both sides came out with flying colours. Unfortunately, there can only be one winner, and on this occasion, it is Leverkusen who make amends for that loss to Heidenheim at this time last season by getting the better of Stuttgart. The visitors will take plenty of positives from the encounter. They acquitted themselves well against top-tier opposition and arguably put in a performance tonight that was better than most of what we saw from them in the Bundesliga in the previous campaign. Bradlow still having a chat with the referees about whether he was infringed in trying to clear the ball before Leverkusen's first goal. In the end, a night to forget for the 24-year-old goalkeeper, but a night to remember for Leverkusen. They are in the final 8 of Germany's Soul Cup competition. The ties will take place at the beginning of March, the draw later this month. But it was thrilling. It was a true knockout cup tie, and it kept us on the edge of our seats till the very last. My name is James Surrogate. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring you coverage of the action from Leverkusen. Final score: Bayer Leverkusen 2, Stuttgart 1.